Well, good evening and welcome. My name is Phil. It's Leicester Fan TV. It's 7:30 till 8 and we're here to talk mostly about transfers, or I think you're all going to agree, the lack of transfers this January. There's a few hours left till the transfer deadline finishes, but I think that's what's on everybody's minds tonight. By all means, we talk about it, exactly what you guys want to talk about. So tonight, if you want to talk about the Everton game, we'll talk about that. If you want to talk about the Man United game at Old Trafford on Friday in the FA Cup, we'll talk about that. This is your show, literally, just because I think we should talk about transfers or lack of transfers. And as the show title says, I think it is a shambles at the moment. A lot of things are a shambles, and I feel like the transfer window, I genuinely don't know what the club are doing by not bringing anybody in. Have we given up? Are we admitting that we're going to the Championship? Are we planning for the Championship? Maybe we are. I want your views and I want your comments. Make sure, if you want to join the show, I'll put the link out there. Next 30 minutes, we've got to talk about it. What is going on with the transfer window? I need your views. I need your comments. Join us.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis.
Well, the intro video didn't play, which I think is about right for what's going on at Leicester at the moment. So there we go. It didn't play, but welcome to the show. If you're watching this live, which I know a lot of you are, please get your views and comments in. Thanks as ever to Pucker Pies, who helped sponsor us. And don't forget, we are running a competition at the moment where you can enter to win a season's worth of pie. So all you have to do is guess who's hiding behind the Pucker Pie. So we'll come on to that later. But listen, let's get as many comments in as we can. I'm putting it out there. I think it is a shambles. I think the January transfer window, somebody said to me earlier, this is like Ryan Bennett. I actually think the Ryan Bennett signing is probably better than what we've done, and that was woeful. What do you think in that? As ever, we want your views. We want your comments. This is your show. Let us know what is going on at Leicester. We all knew it in November, didn't we? In December, that the squad is struggling. I know we got some players in and out and all that, but we needed to sign somebody, didn't we? We bought one defender who 1.9 million who sits on the bench. He's backup to JJ. We bought a backup to JJ. Why have we done that? I just don't understand. Gary says, what the hell is going on? Is top selling up? I don't know. Listen, I know there's going to be so many comments in here. Vardy's number one bitch. Good evening to you. You got me there with that name. Hello, hope you're well. Steve watching, has Rudkin been transferred to jail yet? Mark says the club's an absolute shambles in there. Mark says our club is an absolute shambles in there. Tom says, I thought I was going to get a birthday gift from Rudkin by signing Dawson, but no to even that. I mean, it was truth apparently that Leicester were talking with Wolves about let's swap Connor Cody for Craig Dawson. I mean, the two teams are literally fighting it out for fourth bottom. Let's be honest. We've got to hope that we beat Wolves. And then they're going, we'll have your defender because our defender's rubbish. Can we have your it beggars belief in there. Craig Dawson is 30. I think he's 34 actually, Tony, but he is older than Connor Cody. And he's not played for them in over 5 weeks. Mind you, Connor Cody's not played for us, has he much? It's absolutely pathetic in the transfer window again. Steve says, never been so annoyed with the club. Never felt like this before. Where do we start? They've turned down a bid apparently for McAteer from Sunderland. Well done. I mean, a question to you guys. If we're not bringing anybody in, why did we let Hamza Chowdhury go? Why did we let Will Alves go? Aren't these players potential? I mean, the current starting 11 have lost 8 out of 9. So if I was there, I'd be going, well, I might try Hamza Chowdhury. I might play 5 at the back. I might give Will Alves a go because these guys, the starting 11, don't look like they didn't come over and clap at the end of the match. They don't look that bothered. I'm going to try some of the reserve players, the players who aren't starting, because we keep losing. Matty Bond says we're a disgrace in there. I know there's so many comments in there. Stephen says, I think they want to go down just to get the parachute payment in there. I hope Derby stay up. Be nice to play them next season, says Charles. Stephen Moore, again, Stephen says it's like the club has given up. I hate to say it, Stephen, but I feel like they have. I don't know what else to say. How have we done a whole transfer window? By the way, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who we're bidding with, apparently is making 2 signings tonight, 1 midfielder and 1 defender, and spending 30 million quid. That's the sort of thing that gives you a better chance of keeping up. But where's our signing? We bought Koulibaly, who sits on the bench. He's played like, I don't know, 25 minutes in three potential games. Ian says, words fail me. Do the board think we're down already? I don't know if they do, Ian. I mean, Top and Rudkin were at the match on Saturday. Did they watch that? We all saw the bit with Rudkin behind the bit of paper. What's he saying? Is he saying, I think we're, and don't spend any money, Top? I don't know. I literally don't know. Listen, there's so many comments in there, and I want to thank everybody for comments. I'm going to try and get as many on screen as possible. I'm talking really quick because I want to get loads of comments on. I've shared the link in there. There's so many things to talk about. Dean, and lots of you saying, why did we let Tom Cannon go? I don't know. He's a striker. We can't score a goal. We had 1 shot at Everton, and it was Daka. It was a shot that, again, a Sunday League type of striker would shoot and go, oh, that was whoa, he's had a go. That's all that was. But that was the 1 shot. I'm not blaming Daka. That was 1 shot. We've got Tom Cannon, who's scoring goals in it's the Championship, but I'd rather play Tom Cannon and see somebody give a damn. We've sold him. Where's that 10 mil gone? You know, are we not spending? Is that just what we're doing? We're not spending it. TJ says no players of a decent standard would want to come to Leicester right now, but we haven't even bothered trying as far as I can see. Well, there's been very, very few rumours in there. Joe says, I completely forgot about Michael Golding. Well, we paid 5 million for him. And there's this young kid. I've never seen him live, Mongo. I don't know. We're at panic buttons, aren't we? We need to do something different. You know, I don't want to be horrible, but I don't really care about Man United in the FA Cup on Friday. I just don't care, and I don't want to say that. The next game I really care about is Arsenal at home, and I'd put Monger in there. It's time that some whiz kid came in and did something for us. He's meant to be. They're calling him, Monger, the Iniesta of Leicester. Well, shut up calling him the Iniesta of Leicester if you don't put him anywhere near the first team. If he's that good and we're that bad, put him on. Give him a try. Gary Lineker, these players, they weren't very old when they played for us. They come on and you have to give them a go or not. Just keep playing the same players and nothing will happen in there. Tony says, Edward, he's played 26 minutes, Tony. 26 Premier League minutes. Whose idea was that? And yet we sold Tom Cannon and we don't play half the other players. Keith says, is that a Palace kit, Glory Hunter? No, look, this is a classic. This is Keith. And by the way, talking of Palace, I've just seen Jeff Schlupp's off on his way to Celtic. Well play, Jeff Schlupp, I think. Go and play for Celtic and Brendan up there. We've got so many. Ian says, Michael Golding, good enough for an England under 19, hasn't had a sniff yet. Dave says, yeah, Lineker, Dave, you're going. I remember, I'm an old twat. And I remember when they gave people like that an actual go. I'd rather see some young kids have a go and fail than this lot who just are old past it. I'm going to lose my rag in a minute. Lee says, has Buonatti been recalled? See the rumour today. I believe, and Reedy can confirm this, I believe we'd have to send him back rather than be recalled. So the clubs would have to agree it in there. Why do we have Edward? I mean, season's worth of Pucker Pies, if anybody can answer that one, that mighty riddle. I've got, listen, so many comments. I'm going to keep going through them in there. Yasmin says, we're Shambles Fox from 74. Tony says, spent over £200 million on players and then let them go for free. We've got Skip. We've got Buonatti. We've got Ockley. we've got Edouard. All these are new players and none of them get to start. Now, some of you might say, and I get it, some of you might say, do you know what? That's because Steve Cooper, blame Cooper. That's the default. It's like blaming Claude Puel. You can blame Cooper for those summer signings, except I don't think he signed them. But they're all sat on the bench. But it's Rude as well, who's picking the same losers every week. Anyway, listen, we've had loads of people click in. I'm going to get people in and give them a couple of minutes each to just say something. So I've got Nick, I've got Jono, I've got Ryan, I've got Reedy. I'm just going to add them in and let them have a quick say. So I'm going to start with Nick, okay? So Nick, just literally, I'm going to go one by one. So Nick, it's your forum. It's transfer deadline day. You speak.
What is there to speak about? There's nothing happening. That's the problem.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
See you later.
And I tell you what, between me and you and everybody else, I hope Rude walks tonight. I won't blame him.
Well, when he joined, Nick, he definitely, and again, you can read his words several ways, but he said before he joined, part of him joining was, that they'd discussed with the club January transfers. Mm-hmm. So maybe he discussed we're not spending any money. Maybe that's what he's agreed.
I doubt it. I mean, let's be fair. He's not the only one that's not been backed. Cooper wasn't backed. Maresca wasn't backed. Brendan Rodgers wasn't backed. FA Cup against Forest. What did he say when he did a refresh? That refresh never happened. How many years ago was that?
Well, yeah, about 3-4 years ago. Terrible day.
It's just we're turning down bids for McAteer, which would go through on the PSR rules and would help us out in the long run. Alves goes out on loan. We've let Chowdhury go. We've let Cannon go, and we've just bought Wayo Koulibaly for what, €3 million? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then the swap deal that's not happening.
Yeah, he's not good enough to start.
No, and you've got this deal that's, thank God's not gone through, where you'd get Poder as a swap deal for Dawson.
You couldn't make that one up, could you?
Well, with John Rudkin in charge, yes, it probably is true as it probably can get. Oh, we need a centre back. Oh, we'll get another slow one that's about as fast as a sloth who's 35. Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's the same John Rudkin that's paid £9 million loan fee for Hodson Wedwell for 20 minutes of football.
Tony says here, Nick, the squad is weaker now than it was at the start of the January transfer window.
Yeah, it probably is, to be fair. We've lost Hamza, haven't we? He wasn't starting games, but he has played a couple of games coming off the bench, and you know what you get with Hamza. So yeah, we probably are weaker.
And we've lost Will Alves.
Mm-hmm.
Now neither, like you say, was starting, but part of my thing is if you keep playing the same 11 men and they keep losing, you've got to try starting some of the other men, haven't you? And Will Alves and Hamza are options. If you're not going to replace them, we've got less players.
Well, this is it. It's the same with Buonotto. We've got Buonotto that everybody loves. He's not getting any game time, so what is the point of him being here when, if you want somebody else, you could use that loan space to bring somebody else in. I just don't get it. They've had all December to sort something out, and yet again, they let us down.
Yeah, I'm going to add Jono in at this stage. Ryan and Reedy, please keep holding on, and I'm going to share the link again if anybody else wants to click in.
Evening, Jono.
Jono, thanks for joining us. Saturday night when we chatted, Jono, you were quite angry, quite cross. What's the feeling now?
Just totally let down, deflated, completely numb, to be honest. I think we saw it all coming, really, that we weren't going to get anyone in. It doesn't surprise me in a way. We were all sort of hoping more than thinking, I think, that we were going to get anyone in. And I totally agree. I think we're in a worse position now than we were at the start of the window. How we've let Tom Cannon go and not recalled him and give him a go when we're struggling to score goals. Well, Edouard isn't doing it. He's not even anywhere near the team. He can't be any worse than that, Tom Cannon. And we sold him for 10 million. We've made what, £1 million profit once we've paid Everton off? Just makes no sense. And if we go down, Tom Cannon would have been probably a shoo-in to be a starter for us. It's beggars belief what's going on. It's absolute car crash. is
Jono,
beyond a car crash.
Jono, we only saw a few weeks of Tom Cannon under Enzo, so I'm not going to be here, Jono, saying he's the next Messiah, he's the next Lineker, he's the next Vardy. But Edouard didn't even make the bench again, and Daka, we all know what Daka is. So I would be like, Jono, hell, we're playing Arsenal, stick Cannon in from the start and see what you get. What have you got to lose?
Give him a go. I mean, you don't know unless you try him. And he's been scoring goals in the Championship. He looked decent when he he had a run around the New Year time, wasn't it? I think he scored a couple against Huddersfield on New Year's Day. I was at that game and I thought he looked all right. And then he had a little run with us. He didn't set the world on fire with us, but he was doing all right, I think. And then he's shown that he can score goals with other teams. I think when you've got someone like Edouard, who's absolutely nowhere near the team, what a waste of money. At least bring a player in that you own and develop him. It makes total sense to me. It beggars belief what's going on. I just don't understand the strategy. I don't understand where we're going. There's no direction. There's no hope at all. Maybe I can only imagine it, that we're thinking that we're going to start bringing some of the youth through. Because we've lost Hamza, Alves is gone. Don't understand that. If we're going to have a strategy,
that's the preface for next season, so he gets some Championship experience.
Maybe that's what it's all
is.
about. But I don't think there's a strategy. I don't think there's a long-term vision here at all. They're just absolutely going from one day to the next, making it up as they go along, as far as I can see.
I mean, Nick, Jono says there, what's the strategy? What's the plan? I hate to say it. Somebody said that we're planning for the Championship.
Maybe.
Yeah, but we probably are. That's probably exactly what it is. And let's be fair, we ain't had a strategy since Steve Walsh Senior was here, where we'd buy hidden gems like a Mahrez for 750,000, and your Fuchses and your Kante. Ever since then, it's been players that supposedly were, got some Premier League experience, this, that, and the other. Like Ian Nachos, your Ayoze Perez's, and we've paid way over the top from them. And let's be fair, it's bitters in the bum. When we had Steve Walsh Senior, we were all right, and people copied our blue.
What worries me is that there's been talk of the EFL, if we go down, absolutely hitting us with a ton of bricks. Now that might be points deductions. There was talk at one point of having a transfer ban. Now, if that is the case, then if they're planning for the Championship, then they're not doing a very good job. If the worst was to happen and that we were told that we can't have anyone in and out during the summer, dread to think where we'll be. Now, I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if anyone can confirm that, but I know that there's been talk of that kind of thing happening. Certainly, I think if we go down, we're going to be on negative points. So they're going to try and hit us with a ton of bricks unless we can get out of it one way, shape or form. But I think I've almost accepted now that I think that we're going to go down. I don't think I've got any hope really that we've got enough in the squad to get us out of it, especially when Wolves are going out and strengthening tonight. Really feel deflated. I feel really deflated and let down, to be honest.
The EFL will have our pants down because we embarrassed them. They will. They'll go all for us because we told them to do one because we weren't in the league at the time. They will. We'll start on -9, 12 points, and there'll be an embargo. 100%.
And Andy says here, Andy Spoons can see a big reaction from fans, Jono.
But that's what it needs to be. I'm sorry, but I'm all I'm all for people getting behind the boys and this, that, and the other, right? But if all the fans are in this mentality like we all are tonight, where we're resigned that we are going to go down because there's no fight, then okay, everybody needs to concentrate on making their voices heard that they are not happy about this club. We've all followed this club for years and years and years, and for me, this is the worst the club has felt and been since, I would argue, Phil, since David Pleat was in charge. The Fulham game reminded me a hell of a lot those times back down then, and that was toxic then.
Sending shivers down my spine there with the
I mean,
red.
what I'm saying is,
David.
it's gonna get worse,
Yeah,
and they've got to wake up.
It's bad, but it's surely not that bad. The David
Nick
Lee
and
was pretty
Jono,
grim.
chaps,
We aren't quite there yet.
Oh, I don't know, Jono. I'm
chaps,
serious,
I'm going to
honestly.
let you both go. Okay, Nick and Jono, thanks
Yeah.
so much for clicking. I've got others waiting. I really, really appreciate your views. Thanks so much
Cheers,
for
Phil.
joining us, Nick and Jono.
Take care, mate.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
guys. Thanks to Jono, thanks to Nick. I'm going to add, I added Matty in there. He's not ready yet, but I'll add Matty in. I've got Ryan, I've got Jamie. I want to get a load of comments on because there's a lot of people watching, and I know we want to get your comments in. Richie says Leicester City will stay up, be positive. Richie, the thing is, we're still in it. Somehow, 8 defeats out of 9, we are still in it, Richie, and I hope we are there. I'm not. I know there are some fans protesting at the Arsenal match. I'm not into that because I'm like Nick and Jono said, I'd rather back the lads during the game. And I know fans want to make their voices heard, but I think we can still stay up. But I am so disappointed, Richie, in a January where you just think 1 or 2 additions, they'd have to be in the starting team, or pick some of the young lads and give them a go. That is what I think we need to do. We've got to do something that is different. Stephen says, well, Faz is going at the end of the season, apparently. Nobody's going to miss that. John says, do the players not feel embarrassed? Do they have no pride? How do they sleep at night? And I'm going to bring Reedy in on that one. I want to bring Reedy in. And again, Reedy, good evening. Thanks for coming on tonight.
No, appreciate you coming on.
Reedy, I want to talk. I mean, John Simpson said, do the players not feel embarrassed? And we've had a bit of a discussion today about the end of the Everton game with the players. Now, you were there and I wasn't there, but just talk me through the end, because I want to know. I want people to know what it was like at the end of the game. Even in a bad defeat, I still expect the players to come over and go, you guys out there, you've worked hard all week. It's cost you probably a best part of 100 quid to get here. Buy your tickets, travel, take a day out your lives, buy a burger, buy a pint, buy the shirt, do all that. We've been terrible today. We've lost 4-0, but I'm going to come over and I'm going to have to, say sorry. I expect that from 11 players, the manager. I expect to see that when we put in a poor show like Saturday. But what actually happened at the end?
Well, half the crowd was gone, obviously. There was a lot of booing. There was some clapping.
Yeah, so there was booing and clapping.
There was a bit of both, which, again, you can see from both points. I did mention today in the office that with what the fans was chanting in the fact of saying you're not fit to wear the shirt, I was on the side of saying I don't think they should come over if people are going to shout that. I do not agree with the fact that you can say you're not fit to wear the shirt. Maybe yes, I had the bad performance, but what's going to put their confidence down more? You saying you're not fit to wear the shirt, or I don't know, a bit of booing's not as bad, but for me, I didn't clap. I don't think they deserved a clap, but I was never going to shout, you're not fit to wear the shirt. So I get that point. But what happened was Hermanson came over, guessing because it's his first game back, and he felt like he couldn't do much wrong, or much more in the game to lose the game. So he came over, and then the only other one that came over was AU, which again, I know it's split opinion on how well he's done for us, but yeah, it wasn't great. It is toxic now in any game we go into, but it's just difficult. And like with the transfer news, if you think about it, it's Leicester City. Is anyone actually shocked that we've not got anyone in other than a really cheap player? I don't know.
So before we talk transfers, really, you as a travelling paying fan on Saturday, you understood what was going on with the players. You were like, I'm not going to say you. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You're not going to say it was okay they didn't come over, but you were you understood why, and you saw it from both sides of the fence.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, if fans want to sing "You're not fit to wear the shirt," then the players were like, "Well, you can do one then," because, like in my eyes, I'm not. People can see it from different points of view. I don't see any player playing for a club. Yes, they might not put all their effort in it, but they're not going into a game thinking, I don't care, I'm not even going to try this game. They obviously, before the game kicked off, before the 10 seconds happened and they scored, though the momentum and the positivity and the confidence came from the Spurs game. I think they were in their minds and thinking, we can get something here, we can do something. But the matter you go from 1-0 down in 10 seconds and then 2-0 down in six minutes, that really sucks the confidence out of you. And from there, it's a battle to get even back in the game. And actually, I'm not trying to defend the performance. The performance was poor, like the Wolves game, like the Fulham game. Not as much the other ones that we've played, because I feel like we've probably deserved more out of the games than we have. But yeah, it's just frustrating, because I feel like before the game there was so much positivity in the fans, in my opinion, the players. But you go into that game, and I don't think you'll ever see a game like Everton again, really, where you can see that quickly, and like I say, the confidence just gets drained straight away.
I think really, and I think it's great that, like I say, you've got that appreciation of the players from both sides. For me, I think if you're going to come over when we've won 2-1 at Spurs and be like, oh yeah, great, and take photos and be lovely, I think and take I think when the players will come over and happily take the adoration of fans, I think they also, for me, need to come over and.
No, I get it from that side as well. I do get that.
Come over, hands up, and go. Look, we're sorry. And I think they get more credit and kudos from the fans if they actually came over and went, look, that was terrible. We're going to listen to what you say.
No, I get that from that point of view as well. Like I say, I'm looking from both sides. And my side is more like, yeah, if you're getting called all the names under the sun, then why should you come over? But then on the other side, thinking you had a bad performance. Yes, you beat Spurs, and you want the applause from it. But the difference was, against Spurs, we actually had a decent performance in my eyes. Whereas Everton, we looked absolutely top.
They came over at the end of Spurs, Reedy, to the fans, all of them.
Yes, but that for me, it was more because we actually fought and we actually did well. Where, again, from your point, like I say, from your point of view and a lot of fans' point of view, we didn't play well. They know they didn't play well, and they don't really want to have the shit on them, and they don't want people to go out and be like.
I get that, but
I'm not trying to defend them. I know the game was absolutely woeful against Everton. I know the game was woeful against Wolves.
As professional sportsmen, they have to take the good with the bad. They have to be prepared to come over and go. And they'll gladly take the adulation of grown men, women, children, and say how amazing you are. They can also, for me, have to come and listen to fans who say, "Wow, I've had to work 2 days in a factory to earn the money to come up here," and that was.
No, I do get it. Yeah, I do understand it.
By the way, you're off. You probably go to some super club for a couple of hours in your jet and hold an Enzo up sign and, earn 75 grand this week. So I'm interested to hear. I think you're totally right in your view, by the way. I'm interested in hearing what some of the
I'm just trying to look at it from both points of view. Again, my point is the fact that I don't agree at all with people shouting, "You're not fit to wear the shirt," because why should they come onto the pitch the next game and think, well, if you think of me like that, then I'm not even going to try for you. So,
yeah. Bertie says we need a manager like Brian Clough to kick them up the backsides. Tony Smith says they ain't fit. That's why it was sang in there. I've seen it before, really. Peterborough away, I remember the players were woeful. This was probably, 15, 20 years ago. Jermaine Beckford couldn't even be bothered to come up for a corner in the last minute to try and salvage the game. And the fans were there all behind the goals singing "You're not fit to wear the shirt" and booing them. And they started to come, and they that day saw how fans were not into it, and they moved off in there, and they didn't come up to us that day. And I remember that because I was like, I thought they had to face it. Mark says, yeah, every player should man up and come over. I'm with you, Mark, on that. I'm guessing they're embarrassed or just don't care. Yeah. Or just didn't want to face it. Wouldn't be surprised, me with Leicester, if we beat Arsenal in the next game, Stephen.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised?
No, I honestly wouldn't. No,
I've got to give Stephen Maltby a reality check. If you didn't watch Arsenal dismantle Man City 5-1 yesterday in the live game, Stephen, then honestly, Leicester fans have got to wake up because
Hey, at times we dismantle Man City.
Against Arsenal.
We look like we dismantled Man City at times, but we just didn't get the result. Whereas, like I say, it's Leicester City.
We didn't dismantle them. Man City absolutely crucified them 5-1 last night, Reedy.
It's Leicester City, mate. We always say we can lose to Wolves, but then we'll go and beat someone else. I know this season's not been great at all. I know we've got so many losses on the table, but it is classic Leicester, like we did at Spurs. Yes, they were in a worse form than normal, but there's every chance you can get a draw. I'm not saying it will happen, but it's classic Leicester, isn't it? Look, we'll get a result from somewhere you never expected, like Bournemouth.
And I kind of say it was classic Leicester, but it isn't anymore. I'm going to add Matty in and Ryan. Really, I'm just going to drop you out for a minute, but thanks so much. I appreciate all your comments, mate. I'll add Matty in and Ryan very, very quickly. Should the players come over, we've got a bit sidetracked with that. I just think let's show a bit of respect for the fans and come over in there. I really do think in there. Oakham Taxis, good evening, says club is a joke. Chris says Inacho's gone Middlesbrough on loan in there. Scooby Baz says Inacho gone to Middlesbrough. Again, listen, we've been there, seen that, and done it with Kelechi Inacho. He certainly offers more than Edouard, but I don't know in there. Could be a record against Arsenal, says Michael Lee. Honestly, I watched the game yesterday, Man City. It was scary. Matty and Ryan, let's have them both in. Matty, thanks so much for being patient. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm all good. Can you hear me all right?
I can, Matty. Matty, again, the forum's yours, Matty. I've got no idea what you want to talk about, so please take it away, Matty.
I don't really, not sure really why I've clicked on Phil. My head is just full of stuff. I think you've covered most of it. It's just, you asked me a question, Phil. That's probably the easiest thing.
Matty, all right, there's so many, but I guess the headline of this show, Matty, is I think the January transfer window has been a shambles. I joked at the start when I said the season when we signed Ryan Bennett was a shambles. I'd actually say Ryan Bennett's a better signing than what we've done this transfer window. I think this is worse, far worse.
The first thing I wanted to say is when we let go of Tom Cannon, we sold him. I thought I was missing something. I mean, I'm just a fan. I'm not a major football expert, but I just thought we were totally missing something. We're dropping out this league. We are dropping out this league without question, in my opinion. We're selling a guy who is scoring for fun in the Championship. We're letting him go, and we're having to give Everton back a load of cash. So we didn't make a lot out of the deal. So why are we letting him go? We've got nothing. We're relying on a guy who's knocking on 40 years old up top. The other fella isn't worth pennies. He's not worth pennies. You know, he's useless. We've got nothing else. So why you tell me, Phil? Why do we let Tom Cannon go for a start? You know,
Matty, I've got to be fair with you. When we recalled him, I thought maybe we're going to drop him to our squad. When we sold him, I thought, oh, 10 mil. Okay, we're obviously going to go and spend 10 million. That was my honest. Is we're going to go and spend that on a winger, a striker.
So that was absolutely madness in my opinion. What else is going on in my head, Phil? Loads of stuff. Loads of stuff. And the other thing to add is as well, I've been in a meeting today. I have a small bit of knowledge on the other side of King Power's business. The racing side of things is an absolute shambles as well. It just makes you wonder what King Power as a group of companies is doing at the moment.
Is it? I don't want you to get yourself in trouble by what you say, but is it a bit?
Well, no, I wouldn't. But that side of the business is also a little bit fragile, shall we say?
Yeah, Ryan. We spoke obviously Saturday night after the Everton game. I genuinely didn't think we'd get to 8 o'clock on Monday transfer window, and nothing have happened, Ryan. Nothing has happened.
Well, last time I came on with you, I think it was last Monday when I spoke to you and Tom. And it's not a surprise really that we weren't not going to make any more signings. I did say, was it before the Crystal Palace game? Was it that we may not make one or no signings? And look at where we are. We're coming to the end of the window, and we've only made one signing. What does that say about this incompetent board? It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Scooby says there, can I ask how the fans get across their message to the owners board, etc.? I don't know, Matty, if you've got any thoughts on that. Do the club, have they lost complete touch with the fans since moving to Seagrave?
But we're such a silent club, aren't we? There's nothing is ever said to. There's nothing ever gone on social media or no announcements or anything. So the fans are getting angry. The atmosphere is getting toxic. But there's never any feedback or anything. So you said, Phil, you're not a big fan of a massive protest or whatever outside the ground. How else do the fan base get over their feelings? We are a very placid fan base, I think, on the whole. How do we get across our feelings unless the fans turn out in numbers outside the ground before a game?
I get it, Matty, and I understand there is going to be a protest, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger, I'm afraid. I don't know. I just feel like it won't. We've still got a chance of staying up. As much as Stephen said and Reedy said we could beat Arsenal, it'd be typical Leicester, and I don't believe that. But we could get enough points to stay up, Matty. And I just think
my views on that is I think those days of we get beat by a small club, but we do big clubs. I think they're gone. They're gone. I mean, I don't think we can do big clubs, and I wouldn't call Tottenham a big club. No one would.
No.
But there's no way we can turn. No way. I'd have money on it. We won't do it. Those days are gone because we haven't got the quality or the managers anymore. We have got a mathematical chance of staying up, obviously, still. And until that's gone, we're not down. But I mean, I think anyone in the right mind thinks we're gone. You know, personally, I do anyway.
Yeah. Road says here on YouTube, and I'll happily take any comments. Phil is delusional and an apologist for the club. Listen, Road, I'm not. And I'll tell you, listen, tonight I made the graphic and I said that we're in a transfer shambles. I have no question that this is a particularly low point for Leicester. But by looking at the table and the games that are up, we have still got a chance of staying up. And I guess we've always started Leicester Fan TV. It was originally called 100% LCFC, it was born. Our whole thing was born on the day Leicester had to beat Sheffield Wednesday to stay up in the Championship. And we bought loads of balloons and we did loads of stuff to make some noise to try and save us. Didn't work. We got relegated. So I'm not apologist for the club in any shape or form. I think since they've gone to Seagrave and they don't have to look at fans living in terraced houses, that's why I'm annoyed, Matty. I'm going to ask Matty again, this one, about the fans, the players not coming over to clap the players. I find that tells me everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's the good times and the bad, isn't it? You know, to coin a phrase.
Yeah.
But they should come over and appreciate the travelling fans. They're very quick to come over when we've had a win or whatever. But they should face the music. They should totally face the music. But I think it's a generational thing. Yeah, of course it should, mate. But I think it's a generational thing as well. I think this is the one thing I hate about modern football and the Premier League. The majority are prima donnas, and they think they're better than they are. Majority of our players think they're better than they are. And when they get a good hiding, they should come over and apologise. Like I said, it's a given.
Of course they should. But all they do whenever they lose or get a drubbing is they just stroll down the tunnel like they don't give a toss about how the fans feel. That's all they think about.
Take the 100 grand
about
themselves. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy says the players are happy to pick up a wage, nothing more, nothing less. Stephen says no, wheelbarrow for Rude is better for him, to be honest. Again, we've got I know there's hundreds and hundreds of people watching this live, so keep your comments coming in. Matty, again, I asked this earlier to the other guys, to Nick and Jono. Is there a chance Rude could walk if we've not signed anybody? Do you think he's got previous for it? Do you think he might look and go, yeah, I'm not backed?
Well, a couple of things. Probably the club can't afford to sack him for a start.
Yeah.
Which, we don't think we've got enough money to sack him. Second thing, did he not walk from PSV? Is that
yes,
correct?
He did.
Yeah,
For the same thing.
Yes, he did.
He did, yeah. So there's a big chance.
Thing, yeah.
I mean, I watching the other guests earlier and the comments they made, and it's not the first manager that hasn't been backed when he said he would have been backed. So Rude, Steve Cooper, Brendan Rodgers.
We've
got quite a long list now, haven't we? I mean, none of them have been backed with the finances that they said they would have been. So then we'll become a 3-manager season, which is never good, is it?
Ryan, Bertie Button.
That's a good name.
Bertie Button, I love his name. Bertie Button. He's got buttons, these things. Bertie Button, are you available to come and sort Leicester City out, mate? You might have more clue. But Bertie Button says, Ryan, it's horrible to say, but I hope he walks. Bertie Button won't be the only person thinking that, Ryan. What's your
I wouldn't
thoughts
blame him if he did. I have to agree with that comment. No. I wouldn't blame him.
But would you not be that? Would you? I mean, Bertie Button says he hopes he walks.
Right. I kind of, there's a, how do I put it? I'd say I hope he walks. It's more likely that we're not going to get any more signings. So that's the case. I hope he does, because we're just a sinking ship at the minute.
Yeah. Jordan says here, can't blame the manager. He's fighting losing battle. Jordan, I disagree. I think the manager's got to hold a big heap of blame for the teams he picks and motivating them and putting out the same players every week. Robbie says, don't know why a team always the same, needs to change up. Tony says 8 defeats in 9. We ain't losing much. I think he's being sarcastic. Roger says it's been the same for the last 4 years. We can't sign anybody. He's chatting with Roger there in here. Aggie says, I hope. Aggie was at the match on Saturday, and he says, I hope he walks before Friday in there. Robbie just says Rudkin out. Neil says, again, this is Matty. We're going to wrap up soon, but Neil says, why did we not try Hamza at centre-back? He did a great job for a couple of games 2 seasons ago. Yeah. He's got more pace and tenacity than any of the others. The other thing, Matty, I'd say to that is, if we bought Koulibaly, who's a right-back, why didn't we play James Justin as centre-back with Cody, Faes, Vestergaard, Okole? Well, why haven't we tried 5 at the back?
Well, in James Justin's pomp, he could have played anywhere at the back, to be honest with you.
Yes.
So I mean, he's been pretty woeful out wide. So why couldn't we have brought him? And Hamza, to be fair, when he was given the chance of playing right back, he was actually all right. And when it couldn't have really got a lot worse than we have been at the back, have we? So, I mean, it's comments on your show and Jamie's show the last few days is, I totally agree, is you're banging your head against a brick wall because you're doing the same thing over and over again and getting nowhere. So something has to change. If we're going to keep this manager, he has to change something, because every time a bloody team sheet comes out, all you do is sigh, isn't it? So if we stick it, surely something has to change. But getting rid of Hamza, we're just making the squad thinner and thinner and thinner. We're not even a good championship squad anymore, are we? In my opinion,
no.
I think we're mid championship. To not being dramatic, but mid championship side.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
You know, so it's just the same old thing, though, Phil. What the bloody hell's going on? It's that's what I said. I don't know why I clicked on the link, because I've got so many things going on in my head. I'm battered. I am. You know? Yeah. And we're all the same, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm going to give Richie, I just love your confidence. Richie is 4-0 to Leicester at Man United. I've got to be fair, Ryan and Matty, I don't even want to talk about the FA Cup, because it's just me. I never ever want to say I hope we lose, but I just think I don't know, maybe it'll do us good to win and have a distraction, but he's got to give everybody else a chance. He didn't do it against QPR. He didn't. Got to give some of these other. I'd say give Will Atlas a go, but he's gone. I'd say give Tom Cannon a go.
Start Kelly Bacoli. Why is he not getting the start in this team?
Can I just mention something else? I've something else in my fried head that's just come to the fore. Can I just mention the other thing is Seagrave, right? We have this amazing setup at Seagrave, which should be attracting the best academy players. Why aren't we doing anything with these academy players? I mean, the lad, is it Mongan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
his nickname is the Iniesta from Leicester. So if he's that good, get him in the team.
What chance have we got of hanging on to these good kids if we don't even give them an opportunity? Well, Alves, who's the other good lad? There's another really good lad.
Michael Golding.
I mean, that's Michael Golding. I forgot about him. I mean, why aren't we giving these kids a little chance? You know, because they'll be gone. I heard that the likes of Barcelona was sniffing round Monga. Well, he needs to be given a little opportunity to get through the ranks in our club, else we'll lose the whole lot of them. And what's the point in having Seagrave?
To mention, Sammy Braybrook. Why is he not?
Sammy Braybrook is another one.
Yeah,
we've seen him out on loan a couple of times. Why is he not getting a look in?
Yeah, like Ian says, Real Madrid sniffing around Monga apparently, but he won't play for us ever. Listen, Matty, I'm sorry that you've clicked the link and it's caused you more strain.
Listen,
Thanks so much.
I do it to my pals at work. They don't even like Leicester. I just rant. So it's quite nice to rant to you for a little bit, you know.
It's like
it's good to get it out of the system.
Matt, I only charge like 35 quid an hour for a bit of therapy. You look like you're nice and relaxed there anyway. We'll let you go.
I've got
cheers,
Sky Sports News in the background, hoping there might be a transfer, but obviously not.
You never know. Mate. We'll see you later.
You never know.
See you, Ryan, as well. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at the next one.
Okay, you're welcome.
Cheers. Now, listen, thanks to everybody who's clicked on the link. Again, this is your show every Monday live, 7:30 till 8. We need your views. We've got so many comments in. I'm sorry I couldn't get everybody's comments on. I've literally been trying to. Scooby says Martin O'Neill's Blue and White Army up Pen 1. I put this on partly because, do you know what, Scooby? It takes me back to when I think there was, I don't know. Listen, I know we've had great times over the last 10 years, but we need to find, like Richie says here, keep the faith. We need to find some of that Fox. Where is Foxes Never Quit? Where is that? I think the fans are close to quitting because of what they're seeing around the club as a whole. Again, I can't wear this year's shirt because the club took about 100 quid off me at the start of the season for a plastic card that I already owned. I don't know what other business does that, but when we get to this point in the season, I start going, yeah, why did I quite like to donate to charity. It might be 50p, it might be a couple of quid, it might be whatever I've got available here and there for Poppy Day, Children in Need, whatever. I never ever had to donate money because I wanted to keep the plastic card I'd already got. But that cost, I think, what was it, 25 quid a thing? But you look at some of these bits and you go, I don't know what's going on at the club. It's a strange one, and I appreciate everybody who's come on here. Listen, as ever, thanks to Pucker Pies. We've got a season's worth of Pucker Pie. Let's end on a cheery note. We've got a season's worth of Pucker Pies. All you guys have got to do is guess. The Pucker Pie is covering a Leicester player. And let me tell you this, I wish that Leicester player was still at the club, but no, we've let him go off to one of our rivals to do there instead of keeping him within our club. But who is that player behind the Pucker Pie? You'll see the post go out there. One's gone out at 8 o'clock, so comment on that and let us know who you think. Maybe we'll sign somebody today. Maybe we'll go to Old Trafford and win. Maybe we'll beat Arsenal. It would be typical Leicester. I just don't see it at all. Maybe we'll sign somebody by 11 o'clock. If we do, we'll go live. But I would like to say keep the faith, because I still think we can stay up, but something's got to change. Formation, players, effort, passion, coming over, clapping the fans, being one. The fans were there. The players need to come over. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, Thursday, Jono and Simon will be live at 7:30. On Friday, Sam and Reedy will be live at 1 o'clock doing their tactics show. We'll be doing a watch along this Friday for the Man United game. And Jamie, of course, will be live at 9:30 on Sunday with the biggest, the best, the OG Aftermath show on a Sunday morning at 9:30. And I'll be back here live next Monday, 7:30. Thanks for everybody who's watched. If you can drop us a like or an angry face or whatever you want to on Facebook, that's great. If you can give us a retweet on X, fantastic. If you're watching on YouTube, I know a lot of you are, give us a subscribe and keep those comments coming in. Can't do it without you. Keep the faith, we can still stay up. I think maybe.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.